Welcome to Brookshire Brothers course on Class C operator training. Today, you will learn about operator requirements and how to respond in an emergency. There's an assessment at the end that you must pass in order to receive your Class C operator certificate. This course will review three main topics: Class C operator requirements, main components of the tank fueling system, how to handle emergency situations. Let's get started. Before we begin the course, let's review our purpose. This training is required by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, and Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, LDEQ, in accordance with the federal law, the Energy Policy Act of 2005. These new rules became effective in March 2011. On or after August 8, 2012, every UST facility will be required to have at least one trained operator in each of the three classes: Class A, Class B, and Class C. As a Class C operator, you'll be responsible for dispensing fuel and the initial response to emergencies. There are different training requirements for Class A and B operators than for Class C. Class C is facility specific, and it is the responsibility of the Class B operator or operators of a facility. Class C operator training programs must meet minimum requirements specified in TCEQ or LDEQ rule and may include in-class, hands-on, online, or any other training format deemed acceptable by the Class B operator. A Class C operator would be an employee at the site having responsibility for addressing emergencies from a spill and/or release from a UST system. These employees would be the first to notice a spill, something wrong with the dispensers, and problems with the pumps causing them to not work properly. The Class C operator on duty could be anyone from management to a petro clerk to the relief petro cashier. Any active employee that leaves the company that trained them must be retrained by their new employer for site specifics. The Class C designation does not transfer from site to site. You should know how your fueling system works in order to know what to look for if something goes wrong. Let's review the main components of the fuel system. The delivery truck is the truck that delivers fuel. The dispensers are the equipment that dispenses product. The emergency shut-off red button is what's pressed to shut pumps down. Fill ports are where the delivery truck lines release the product into the tank. Underground piping carries the product from tank to dispensers, and vents allow air to leave the tank as fuel is being dispensed from the truck. Sump pumps are what pumps the product from the tank. Product lines dispense product from tank to dispensers. And finally, the sensor provides automatic release detection. Let's take a look at this diagram of the ports and covers. The orange circles are the fill ports. Blue indicates the covers for the locations of the in-tank probes. Red is the cathodic port for testing. Green shows the covers that are manways to the submersible turbine pumps. Let's take some time to study the components of an underground storage tank. This is a double-wall fuel storage tank, which is a tank within a tank. This is the fuel or product line that carries fuel from the tank to the dispenser. The piping submersible pump is a submersible tank pump, STP, that pushes the product from the tank to the dispenser. This is the Stage 1 vapor recovery port. The EPA requires Stage 1 vapor recovery in certain locations. This is the fill pipe with spill containment. This is the point at which the delivery driver connects to the tank and delivers product. This is an interstitial monitoring device. Double-wall tanks provide an extra level of release protection. A release from the inner tank will be captured inside the outer barrier. A monitor is used to alert the operator if a leak is suspected between the tank and the barrier. This is a lead wire to the continuous automatic leak detection lane. It runs from the port to the sensor. This is a continuous automatic leak detection sensor. It provides continuous automatic release detection. The sensor is placed in the lowest point between the two walls of the tanks. This is a monitoring well with sensor and containment, or observation tube with a sensor. Many states require monitoring wells to be positioned around the tank. Monitoring wells can be used to assure compliance of specific criteria and requirements for release detection methods. The automatic tank gauge, or ATG, sends reports on volume of product for each tank. It is programmed to alarm when there is a possible release and may signal the delivery driver if 90% of the capacity of the tank is reached. The fill port is where the delivery truck drops fuel. The port should have a marker indicating what product it holds. Spill buckets catch any product that spills when the delivery truck is unloading fuel. Sump is used to pump product from the tank. The containment catches any product that may escape when pumping. Lids and caps are needed to avoid anything getting dumped into the lines. For each fill port, there should be a product ID tag. If there is not a tag, please notify your petro maintenance tech. Stage 1 vapor port has a push and release port. You need to know where it is located. The position of the sensor is important to properly detect product. Make sure it is at the lowest point to properly detect. Now, let's take a look at the pump itself. The dispensers dispense the fuel. Breakaway fittings are for accidental drive-offs, and they protect the dispenser from damage. Hoses, nozzles, swivels, and handle switch need to be checked for wear and tear. The info screen talks to the customer and the card reader. These are for the customers using credit or debit cards. Your manager should regularly conduct a walk-around at your site. Check for frayed hoses, damage to your vent pipes, and that your overfill alarm is working properly. As you conduct a review of the site, check for dead vegetation. This is a sign of a release due to overfilling. Only allow approved containers to be used for product transport. Never allow plastic jugs or glass jars. When filling a container, place the container on the ground. Never fill a container in the bed of a truck or any other vehicle. By placing the container on the ground, it allows for static electricity to be grounded. Otherwise, the container could ignite. Call your manager if you experience any of these situations: a spill, fire, alarms, or stressed vegetation. Report any spill of 25 gallons or greater to your manager. Your manager should contact the appropriate person. That person will notify a state agency. It's mandatory that surface spills of 25 gallons or more be reported to the appropriate state agency within 24 hours. If you have a small spill under 25 gallons, notify your manager. Use the proper materials for cleanup and dispose of properly. As a Class C operator, it's important that you know how to properly use fire extinguishers. There are 4 simple steps to remember. Just remember to pass. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher. Aim at the base of the fire, not the flames. Squeeze the lever slowly and sweep from side to side. Call 911 if any of these situations are happening or if you are not sure you can contain the fire. Fire is spreading rapidly. You don't know what is burning. You don't have the proper fire extinguisher, or there's too much smoke. Start your emergency procedures if any of these occur. If you don't know the emergency procedures, please let your manager know. Flash fire, explosive vapors, large surface spills, or petroleum seeping from cracks in cement or the ground. It's essential that you know where your emergency stop button is located. When faced with an emergency, take charge of the situation. Keep people away from the area and keep yourself and others out of harm's way. Stay alert as to what is going on around you. Take a moment to review this list of who to contact in order when an emergency arises. Have this information readily available. When in a stressful situation, sometimes it is hard to remember.